Hello, hello, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy. Thank you for coming back to join me again today. As you can see, I am working on Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, the Field Notes project. So let's take these middle pages out again and move that. Now, when you were here last time, you watched me struggle to get these stuck down, and then we put our poppy on top. Since you've been gone, I've put in my words: poppy seed buns, lazy days of summer, and rose hip syrup. And yes, a couple of you commented on your mum's giving you rose hip syrup either as a drink or by the teaspoon when you were younger. Yeah, my mum did too, and I also gave it to my children back in the days of, I don't know about other countries, but here in the UK you used to go to the clinic once a week and you could buy your bottles of rosehip syrup, get the baby weighed, buy that concentrated orange juice, etc. Don't really exist anymore, I don't think. Okay, so it's all stuck down. I want to paint in this rosehip branch, so I've brought my coloured pencils along. These are actually Derwent watercolour pencils. We want a nice red. Is that going to be too dark? So I'm going to use this. I think that will probably work quite well with it. So we're going to use that one, and then I want to do the leaf in that, so that will probably work with that. And then I'm going to do these sort of the husky things. They're almost not the same colour as that leaf. I remember them being this sort of creamy colour, so maybe not really that one, maybe this one. That's too dark, isn't it? Maybe that one. Yeah, I think that one. And then obviously a dark brown for the thingy. So we'll cover that up and we'll put that on there, and I'll get a paintbrush and let's go. I need to put something. I don't really want my wall mat under there, do I? Because that's going to give me a problem. So I'll do it onto my green mat. Now, are we nicely envision? Yes, not bad at all. Okay, so let's, what I like to do is get some water. Now obviously you must use your pencils or whatever, the way you feel you do. I think we'll start at the top and work our way down. I think that's how it makes sense. So I've got my water, I've got my paintbrush, and I'm just going to wet up the pencil, and you can see we're starting to get colour. Now I don't want too much water, I want more pencil, because if there's too much water, you can see it's just going to run. So, and we don't want it running. Okay, so I'm hoping that because we're working on the paper rather than actually on the fabric, we won't have too much of a problem with it running. Yeah, that seems to be working very nicely. And then down there. So that's the dark twiggy bit. See, you thought this was a sewing video, didn't you? Right, we use that to wash out our brush, and then we'll start some fresh water in there, and that's going to be for our dark green leaves. Oh, I did it in this one, didn't I? No wonder I can't find it. Well, it's only one leaf really, isn't there? I don't know. Goodness me, Claire, we thought we were going to be sewing. You should know by now that even though this is a sewing project, we very rarely start with sewing. We do all sorts of things, don't we? And I'm not going to be able to obviously stitch this because it's wet, so I do my words and we'll come back to this. And I will obviously be putting a little bit of stitch work on top, so I may even do some words, put the video on pause, let this dry, and then come back so that you can actually see some of the stitching in the paintwork. Sorry, I put my paintbrush in my mouth. So that you can see, you know, the stitching in the paintwork. Okay, so I'm just going again. Want nice amount of red, because that's quite a big area that we're working on here. So in this round. There we go. And this one. Oh look, need a bit more brown up there. Nobody told me. Claire, you need more brown. Goodness me, you're supposed to be helping me, people. So we'll have to fire up a bit more brown, won't we, in a minute? And you can see where there's more colour in the other side. It's a bit darker, so just add in a little bit more colour to this side. So calming. I wish I could draw, because I'd love to be able to paint all day. I just find it so calming. And I could rinse my paintbrushes in my gin. How much fun would that be? Because let's face it, you would be bound to be so preoccupied that you would end up putting your paintbrush in your gin rather than in the water. You just know it would happen, don't you? I'm just trying to get some real good colour on my brush, because we're off the paper there, and so you can see that it's starting to spread, which we don't really want. There we go, and then we'll rinse that out, and our last bit of painting is going to be on those hanging down little, I don't even know what you'd call them. It's like where they've fallen down and then revealed the fruit. I suppose they're leaves, but not like the leaf up there. It's almost like the leaves are dead because they've, you know, sacrificed themselves for the fruit. That's the theory that I'm putting on it anyway. So, and I think I mentioned last week, but if you didn't see last week's video, this particular paper with these sketches on, this is from Alison Bomber. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's part of her like Shakespeare range. She's got a nod to Culpeper and the remedies that he suggested, natural remedies, years ago, and some, you know, nods to Shakespeare as well. And then I think I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the darker brown and just sort of feed that through. See, look, I am an artist. Oh dear. I'm colour toning and all sorts today. Look at that. Okay, so they're all beautifully painted. We can push that away. I don't know about beautifully done, but they look beautiful now they're painted. And we can open out this side, and I'm going to turn it upside down. Not to be awkward, but just because it's probably going to be easier to stitch. And I'm going to be stitching in this same brown that I've done all my words in, and this is the Sheepies 179. People have asked me about this Sheepies before, and I have told you that it can be purchased in the UK from Woolmouse, and the balls that I get, which I believe are 150, did I say? No, not 150, 50. Hang on, I'll have a look. It's 25 grams. They do come in 50s, but only in set colours. 25 grams, and it's about £1.50. Okay, so I've got a needle threaded without any real fuss this time. Did you notice that? And I'm just going to set to and stitch my words. So as always, I'm just doing a tiny running stitch, or even a back stitch, and that's, now it's interesting because obviously there's glue on this page. It feels much more like stitching through a hoop, even though I'm not. It's almost like it's got the tautness that you give it when you put it into a hoop. It's very interesting. There we go. So we'll do our little back stitches all the way around our words, and then hopefully when we've done some words, it'll be dry the other side. I'm trying to do a Blue Peter, and well, not necessarily a Blue Peter, because that means I'd have one ready. But you know, get that done first so that it can dry off. So I'm seeing loads of pictures. Everybody's busying themselves with either, there seems to be three things going on at the moment. There's Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, which is obviously this one. There's the Just Because quilt, and now I see that Christine from, I think it's Create and Craft with Christine, is doing vintage stitcheries she's found from a archived library book. Yeah, all fun and games. I'm not necessarily going to follow Christine, not for no real reason other than I've got so much going on, but I did think that maybe I could do a little bit in that she just did a cup and saucer, which reminded me of Wedgwood, and I thought, well, maybe I could put one of those into my Just Because quilt. But the only real problem with that is, Wedgwood is blue and white, and I haven't got any blue in my Just Because quilt, so maybe I won't. Maybe there'll be a prompt. See, summer days we could have had afternoon tea picnic, but perhaps there'll be another prompt where I can pop it in, because it's a beautifully designed pattern she's shared with us. So I don't know, we'll have to see, because I wouldn't like to completely ignore it, but I don't think I can commit, you know, to doing it all, really. I know it's like the stuff that Catherine does over on K3N. I mean, she does some lovely stuff, but I just can't commit to doing it every week. I've got quite a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I believe it's four videos I put out every week now. 3 on YouTube, 1 that I do just for my Ko-fi viewers, but then there's also the sharing of the Tuesday coffee break crafting video on Ko-fi. So, you know, along with family life, there's quite a lot going on, and obviously I try to make sure that I put into the videos the projects that I'm doing, because that does help to save a bit of time. It doesn't always work like that, because also in the background I'm still also making journals. So lots going on. No. And I don't know, I think all crafters, we tend to, oh yeah, I must have a go at that. And then you realise, you know what, you just get yourself so overwhelmed because there's too much going on. So can't always be done. Whoops. So, what have you been up to? I noticed that Sally over at Dotty B, she's she seems to be doing everything. She's doing the Arty Farty Annie, great big little stitchery. I saw she'd done Christine's cup and saucer. She's definitely doing Roxy's, and she's also on a Just Because quilt. She's on it all, she is. Oh dear. Plus of course she does her haul videos, and I know she's got a shop where she sells vintage treasures, and she's now also opened a Etsy shop as well. So I mean, she's super busy. I think I'll jump straight up here onto that white. I think you can see me. I could probably do with coming up a little bit. So yeah, it's all happening. Oh dear. Does anybody else do that? Do you sigh when you're stitching? It's almost like you're relaxing down, and the sigh is you letting go of whatever, you know, was troubling you. It's like, oh, somebody in the street on a phone with a cackle. Don't know if you can hear that or not. Right, how's this doing? Do you know what? That's dry. So because I think that stitching letters is probably quite boring for you to watch, I'm going to pull my needle off that thread. I'm going to turn it back round so you can see we've got the words coming, and we're going to look at doing some stitching on here. So I'm going to take the red first of all, whoops, and I'm going to do like abstract stitching. I did actually start doing some of this on my Just Because quilt and I loved it. So rather than doing like a satin stitch or whatever and filling it all in, which is why I've painted it, like on the actual rose hips, I'm going to do those dots in French knots just for a bit of like additional delight. And I think I may even do a couple of bits on the poppies, so we'll see how we go. Right, so I'm going to start here on this side. It is a little bit damp, but it's dry enough, I think. So 1, 2, 3. I think we'll go for 3. They'll work quite nicely, I think. Yes. And it is a slightly different colour as we saw when I was matching it up at the beginning. So it's, you know, it's just like a highlight or whatever. Oops. Should really bring my mat back now, shouldn't I? There we go. That'll make life a little bit easier. Because we got something to stab into. So we've got more there. And then we'll have that on there. I wonder if Alison ever imagined that her papers would end up being stitched. Do that one just 2 wraps, so it's a bit smaller. And then we'll do that one, whoops, that one also with 2, so we've got like a double small one. There we go, and then I'm going to jump all the way over to there, and I think these will all be 2s, so 1, 2, oops, that's a very loopy one, isn't it? Oh, we didn't want that, Claire. Can I pull it? Not really. Oh well, it's in there now, isn't it? can hold it tight, isn't it? Sorry, I'm not very chatty, am I? You know what I'm like when I'm stitching. Okay, so that's all of them. So I'm just gonna finish that off, and then I'm gonna have a look if I want to move over and do a bit on the poppies. Oh yeah, see, it's dimension and it's additional colour. I think the obvious thing would be the definition lines, so let's have a little look, although I can't really pull it out because it's paper, isn't it? So once we go for it, we go for it. So I think it's going to be a little back stitch, just highlighting these lines really. Do you know what this reminds me of? Do you remember stitching as a child and you used to get like those sort of cardboard things with the pre-punched holes in? That's almost what it feels like now, stitching through the glue. It's not a problem, it just feels different basically, that's all. I quite like it actually. I imagine this is what it would feel like to stitch on canvas. There you go. See, we're just adding a little bit of extra, I don't know, detail. I was going to say something like, I don't know, je ne sais quoi, but I'm not convinced it is. So then this one, I think I'll just go along here and, you know, just add some texture and depth to this paper that we've put down to make it a bit more of a stitching project than a paper one. Trying to get back in that same hole to keep like a continuous line going. And then I don't think I'm going to do all of them, so I think I'm going to go round underneath to this dark one here. Yeah? And then I'm going to work on this one. And then I quite like that we've got the three-dimensional poppy, we've got these paper poppies, and we've got the stitching through them. It's nice, I like it. That one. And then I think I'm going to come over there to the end like that. And come back down here. Yeah, it definitely feels like, or it makes me think, this is what it would feel like to stitch through canvas. Okay, So we've done those two. I wonder if I'll do this one here as well. Yeah, and then see, I'm getting carried away now, aren't I? And I'm going to do this one as well, and then I'm going to call it quits on this flower. I don't know whether to do any more. See, I'm lying because now I want to do that one. It's funny how it just evolves. Yeah, I love it. Love, love, love it. So I'll trim that off. Let's have a little look. I think I now want to do these dark lines. See, that's what happens, isn't it? Well, it is what it is. And this is the last week. But as always, I'm filming ahead, so I have got some extra time that I could do this without you. Excuse me, it's coffee time. And then I could show you when it's finished. So, yeah. Okay. And then maybe on the bad ones, rather than doing the red, I might do a bit of green, just to, you know, make it slightly different or whatever. Who knows? See what happens when we get there. Anything could happen at this rate, couldn't it? So I'll come down here and I'm going to do that top line there. Do you know, I really suggest you give this a go. The way this feels stitching through here is really, really different. I love it. Doesn't obviously mean you'll love it. You'll probably be moaning at me for suggesting you tried it. But get out of the way, Poppy. I should have known that when you were going to be on the top, you should have been done last. Let's pin you down there so you don't keep getting in my way. There you go. Yeah, you might not like it at all. You'll be cursing me. But I just think it's lovely. Just maybe try it on a bit of random rubbish fabric, you know, an old bit of scrap, so that you don't ruin any work that's important to you. But I do like it. What is it? Don't knock it till you've... Oh, that went a bit weird, Claire. It's not supposed to be there, was you? But you are now, so... Oops, I'm not. Yeah, I just think you should give it a go. Don't knock it till you've tried it. That's what they say, isn't it? Don't know if it's because I use the gel matte medium. I mean, I know that always stays flexible, which is why I like to use it. but I don't know if that's what's made it stitch like this, but I like it. I'm going to shut up about it now because I'm probably boring you. Claire was raving about stitching through glue, honestly. I think we'll have a little bit come down here. Down the side of this one. Like that. And then I think we're going to join this underside of this one. And we're going to pick up that little one there. Like so. Right, let's turn it all back round. Take that pin out. Yeah, it's lovely. It's just got some added dimension to it. Super. So I'll finish that off. And now I'm going in on the dark green because I feel like what's happened here? We've got ourselves in a knot here, haven't we? There we go. Right, that's that red thread, and that's that brown one. I'm going to bring in this green now, this dark green. There's my little bee ribbons that I wanted to put on as well. Right, and I think we're just going to run some of these green lines, and then we can use the same green to move over to our rose hip. That's the plan. Whoops. I feel like I've been here forever. Have I been here forever? I suppose I should check. Right, so got to be a bit careful here because we got the thread from our P, but we want to be there. Right, so we're gonna got a bit of weird green thread around that. What happened now? Do you know what? I'm going to cut that off, do a whole new knot because I don't want that. That's weird. There we go. Right. So we'll feature down there. And then we'll come over to here. And we'll feature around the outside of this one. like there's the hole there, and then I'm just going to pick up a little bit there on that side, and then we'll go back over to the other bud. And I suppose I better check the time, hadn't I? So on this one, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to come up there, back down there, up there, back down, up there, back down, up to there, and back down, and then we'll find that side and we'll just feed down there like we did on the other one. Okay, so that's the two buds done, and then I think I'll quickly do the leaf and then I'll leave you and I will do the rest of this homework, and then when we come back next week with a new prompt I'll show it to you finished. It does feel lovely. Right, now what we're going to do with this leaf, I think, oh well, we need a knot before we do anything else, Claire, so let's get a knot, and then we're going to start there at the bottom of the twiggy bit, and I think we're going to follow the edge but then I'm going to miss a bit. Whoops, it's the only trouble when it's paper, it does sort of guide you where it wants to go, and I'm going to come up there and then on these like spines of the leaf, and then I'm going to jump up there and I'm going to come all the way down that line, back up and down to there, back up, and then I'm going to find that bit of the detail and go there, and then find that bit, go to there, go to there, and come back up there. There you go. Because I don't want to stitch it, I just want to, and I think I'm just going to now jump over there and just come down to there. Yeah, pleased with that. Okay, so we'll close that off. Whoops. We'll close that off. We'll say thank you very much for joining us. We hope you found joy and inspiration, and I will be back with you next week. Ta-ta for now.